on the surface, Batman and the X-Men don't seem like they have much in common, right? They're two very different concepts. One concept's about a guy without powers who puts on a suit and beats people up in the middle of the night. He has gadgets, but he's just a guy in a suit. He has some friends who help him out, but, you know, that's Batman. The X-Men's about people who are with superpowers, who are metaphors for people who are outcasts or minorities in society, either because of skin color, you know, gender, sexual orientation, or maybe they're from certain regions of the world. They're different ethnic groups and they have to, you know, blend in with America, where, you know, the dominant usually is, you know, a Eurocentric kind of point of view, right? So what do they have in common? Well, I think they have a lot in common because of their relationship to other characters within their respective universes, right? And the way fans respond to them. Like, when it comes to DC, there are a lot of people, they don't care so much about DC as a whole, but they just like Batman, right? There are people, it's like they like Batman comics, they know all the Batman supporting characters. They don't care that much about, like, the Flash, Doom Patrol, Wonder Woman, Superman. They just like Batman. And for a long time, the X-Men were like that in Marvel. Like in the 90s and the 2000s and the 80s, there were people who were just X-Men fans. They didn't care that much about the rest of Marvel, like the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, Alpha Flight. They just wanted to know, what were the X-Men doing? What's going to happen with Wolverine and Storm and Cyclops and Rogue? I care about the X-Men, but all these other Marvel characters, I don't care about them. And there are a lot of people, I don't know if that's still the same today, because, you know, the MCU, the Avengers, they've really, you know, catapulted Marvel characters who are not the X-Men to a different place in pop culture. But for a long time, that wasn't the case. Like, the X-Men were the dominant, you know, franchise within Marvel Comics and in pop culture. And that's what Batman was for a long time, and for DC, and for a lot of people, is still that way today. So that's what I think. And there are also pocket universes within their respective universes, right? Like, Batman alone, with all of his spin-off characters and villains, could be his own cinematic universe, right? You wouldn't even need to have a DCEU with Aquaman and Wonder Woman movies. You could just have one, technically, with just Batman movies. You know, have Robin movies, Nightwing movies, Batgirl, Batwoman, that sort of thing. And the X-Men are such like a big, sprawling, you know, universe in and of themselves. You could just have an X-Men universe without the rest of the Marvel. And they did have that with Fox, right? You know, the Fox X-Men movies were just X-Men. And X-Men spinoffs like Deadpool. And even in the comics, in Marvel Comics, there have been many, you know, periods in Marvel Comics where the X-Men were doing their own thing, while other Marvel characters in the comics were doing stuff separate from the X-Men. And it's kind of the same with Batman, right? Batman and his supporting characters have always had stuff going on in Gotham City, separate from what, like, the Flash or Green Lantern was doing. So I think that when you look at their relationship between themselves and their respective, you know, overall universes, the X-Men and Batman have a lot in common, in that they've served a lot of times to be the anchors of their respective universes in the comics. The X-Men were the anchor and the most important part in a lot of fans' minds for Marvel. Batman was the same for DC, and for a lot of people, that's still how it is today. I don't know if it is so much for the X-Men in the comics, because X-Men comics today are not as popular now as they used to be, but for a lot of people, Batman comics are still, as if they have been for a long time, the most important part of DC Comics and the only part of DC Comics they care about. I'm not saying that I agree with these people. I love all of DC, not just Batman, but, you know, there are a lot of people who don't share my opinion. But, what do you think? Do you agree with me that, you know, Batman and the X-Men are similar because they're basically kind of the all-stars of their respective universes? Or do you think I'm off base? Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel, because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.